Yo, what's up, guys? This is Why Not Be Reckless, aka Why Not Be Casting, and I'm kind of a freaking big deal. If you don't know, now you know. And as you guys know, I love Halo esports from the bottom of my heart. The talent, IQ, raw skill of our pros, top amateur players, and even up and comers is close to unmatched across the industry. But sadly, we haven't done the best job of highlighting our amazing community and getting to know the players behind the screen. But that stops today. I called in a few favors. I had my people reach out to his people, and I'm happy to have Kyle Swish Fives as a guest. Bring Kyle on here. Kyle, why don't you tell the viewers about yourself?
Hi, my name is Kyle Oberg. I go by Swish online. I originally from Florida, currently live in New Jersey, and I've been playing for about 6 years on and off.
I've known Kyle for quite some time. He's been tearing me up in eights lobbies, matchmaking, and now more recently Apex, where he drops 2K kills a game, and I'm around that 86 mark where I get 86. I'm sorry, damage wise. That's where I'm at in your lobbies. I think you just hit diamond recently, right?
Yeah, I hit diamond a couple weeks ago.
I don't even know how. I remember I played one diamond game with you, and like we ended up matching some pros. We ended up matching Era, and I'm like, how are we matching Predator pros in diamond? If this is what it's like, count me out. I'm done. I don't want any part of it.
Yeah, it's a different world up there for sure.
Well, I mean, Halo, Apex. I've seen you get top 8 multiple times. I've seen you in HGS Pro Series. You were consistently making out of open and getting into that pro bracket and making it into Championship Sunday, if you will. I've seen you have success in Halo 3, Halo 5, and now Apex. But where did your gaming career begin? Where did little Kyle start gaming at?
So for me, I never was able to have my own console growing up. My parents really didn't believe in the whole gaming thing. I was always pretty good. Like when I went into friends' houses, like whenever we played FPS sports, like didn't matter. And for me, it was Halo 3 playing 1v1 The Guardian with my best friend at the time. And from there, I always wanted to compete. Like I watched YouTube, whatever, but I was never able to until I turned 18. And then I got my own console. You know, a couple months later, Halo 5 comes out, and I go to my first tournament, and that's been history ever since.
Okay, you said when you turned 18. How old are you now?
I'm 25.
Okay, so you've been gaming. I can do math. 7 years. And you said now when you got your first console, was that you playing Halo 3, or did you play a more recent game when you actually got your first console?
So when I got my first console, H2A was the big thing, and it was about a month before Halo 5 came out. So I said I'd grind the playlist, and then H5 came out, obviously, and been playing that ever since.
I actually have a similar, I guess, story. Like I started playing Halo 2 on a tube TV, split screen, 4 ways, 2v2s at a friend's house. Never even thought about owning my own console. I would just go over summers and play at their house. Then I got my first Xbox at Halo 3, and I was hooked ever since. And to this day, I wish I had a time machine to go break that Xbox, because man, the amount of hours and days I put in is ridiculous. You said you started with Halo. Like, was there any other games you were interested in when you were younger, getting into your gaming career, or has it always been Halo?
For the most part, as far as skill-wise goes, like growing up, like Halo 3 and that sort of thing, like to me was like the most skillful thing I saw. Like I played Call of Duty occasionally at like friends' places, whatever. You know, I'd go in pub stomp, whatever. But I just never really found that game like fun at a high level. I mean, I never really played it at a high level, but as far as like the comp side of it goes, like Halo for me was always what I thought like the mecca of competing was about.
Did you ever have a social period with Halo? Like I remember in Halo 3, like I loved playing the social playlist and whatnot. Like, let me tell you, proximity chat was crazy. You get anywhere near somebody, you would hear some crazy things. Did you ever have that social experience, or did you just jump right into the competitive scene?
I mean, obviously, like growing up, probably more social. I would say. I mean, I've never really been social in it. Like, I'm more like competitive, like sports, whatever it may be. Like, I've always just been very competitive. So, I mean, I would say there has been a mixture of that, but for the most part, it was always like, how bad can I beat somebody? You know.
And I'm kind of jealous of you, because I never got to experience MCC during its prime. That was the small break that I took was during MCC, and I thought it was like the greatest idea. I was like, wait, I'm like, they brought back Halo 2, they brought back Halo 3, they brought back all of it, and they remastered it. I guess tell me about your MCC experience. I've gotten some mixed reviews from people, and like I said, I've never got the chance to experience it myself.
I mean, MCC I primarily played H2A. All the other games I really didn't have like too much experience in. I didn't really like MCC Halo 3 too much. I mean, I competed in it when it came around just because, there was a tournament close to me. Never was crazy about it online. H2A I felt like was a good game. The only problem was it had 3 maps, and I mean, you can only play 3 maps for so long.
Did you ever compete in those H2A events?
No, it was literally just playing online matchmaking, and then a group of guys hit me up to go, to the first H5 tournament.
Who were those group of guys? I need to know who were the first ones that brought Swish to the event. I need
Oh
to know. I
man.
need some names.
All right, so Ambient was one, and then Given, and then we didn't have a fourth, but right before we picked up Doctor Chaos.
Okay, so you actually went with some somewhat known people for your first event. All right, I respect it. I got lucky in my first event. I went with Simply Saintly, Little Country, and Plague. We went to AGL New Jersey. Halo 4. No, nobody in the chat say nothing. Okay, I went to a Halo 4 event. That was my game. Okay, come see me on Haven. I don't want to hear nobody talking about Halo 4. How we liking the move over in Jersey? I don't know if you want to put out who you're living with. I don't know if it's public and whatnot, but a big change from
Oh, it's
big
public.
sunny
I mean,
Florida.
it's public. So, but yeah, definitely a big change. I like the food. The internet's crazy up here. Like playing online games here in comparison to where I used to live, night and day.
Do me a favor. So we talked about your teammates for your first event. So tell me about your experience finding teammates. Do you have any kind of horror stories? So I started a program. I don't know if you saw where I started. It's a free agent list. Free agent, team of twos, team of threes, and team of fours. Put yourself on the list and help the community find each other. And I'm hoping that it helps because I'm not, Kyle, I'm not good. So when I want to play at these events, I want to play at these tournaments, nobody wants to play with me. So I wish there was a centralized way for me to reach out to people. And I want to know your experience with finding teammates. You have to have a horror story. You have to.
I mean, so my experience with teammates, it all depends what year of Halo 5 you ask me about. Because I mean, there were multiple years I didn't play because of stuff outside of the game, not allowing me to play. But if you talk about early H5, like I had plenty of team offers, like different things like that. And then sometimes towards like 2018, around there, I had plenty of team offers. But like when I came back, nobody wanted to play with me for the most part. Like I always had to like prove my worth to people that like I could still do this. Like I went to a tournament after like a year and a half, whatever, and then was a game away from champ bracket. So sometimes it's been hard for me, for sure. But I mean, people have usually always reached out to me because I'm not really well networked because I'm, somewhat of a newer player, I would guess you'd say at the time. So I mean, I've had some horror stories, I think.
Now, when I think of Kyle, I think of confident, tough. You're a big guy. You're tall. You know you handle yourself, and obviously you exude confidence in the gaming realm, and that's probably one of the reasons why you're such a good player. With those confident shots, you swish fives everybody. But going through those experiences and feel like you having to, reprove yourself and having to put yourself out there, what does that do? Does that make you more hungry? Is that fuel? Does it knock you back a few pegs and whatnot? And have you ever questioned where you're at in your competitive career? I want to get deep. I want to get deep, Cal.
I would say a mixture of all of that, but for the most part, it just makes me frustrated that like people have played with the same group of players for X amount of years and they play the exact same way, whatnot. I always think about like I did in sports, like you watch the best people do what they do and then you emulate it. You try to do that. I'm not going to name any names, but there's a lot of people that don't understand the philosophy and just keep trying to do things their way and they keep achieving the same results. It was always frustrating for me, like even, with my time off and stuff, like coming back and feeling like I'm here, but like, people have me, way down on the bar. So it was frustrating, but at the same time, it didn't deter me. It just made me like put this much amount of time in if no one's going to take me serious because like in the beginning of the game, like I had so much drive, so much passion because like, I was about to sign a contract, like, things were going my way. So like I had no like shortage of like effort. As of late H5, like it's been hard to find the passion to like really show what I can do at a high caliber.
Well, I mean, you found yourself on a decent team right now. Why don't you tell the viewers who don't know already? If you don't know now, you must be living under a rock or something. But why don't you tell them about your current team and tell me about your expectations going into Infinite? What is this team going to look like?
All right, well, first off, my expectations are to win, and they're always that for any team I'm ever on. Secondly, teaming with Chris Common, Chris Name, and Matt Haynes.
When I think of that squad, I think of a been there, done that mentality. I think of a squad that knows what you want to accomplish. And when I see you on that stage going against whoever it is, I don't care if it's your roommate Spartan and United. Big ups to him. I don't care who it is.
Oh,
I'm thinking that you guys have the ability to win. All you need to do is execute. You know what you got to do. You know what you guys want to do. And when by the time that first event comes, whether it's open or invitational, whatever it is, when that first event comes, I truly believe that you guys can beat anybody out there. And at this point, it's just about putting in that work and execution. That's my view on it. I'm not going to coach y'all up. I'm not going to hype y'all up. Y'all got to pay for that.
Well, that's exactly why I chose to be on this team, because I believe in all three of these guys, whether we have, you know, somebody to represent or we don't.
It'll be a crime if you guys don't. If I have any big orgs, I see you out there. Splice is out there right now. Splice, they're in the chat right now. Splice, you guys aren't even partnered. You guys need a squad right now. $5K a month minimum. 1% to Tony. What were some of the highlights of your competitive gaming career?
Well, I'm not like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not like, I don't really like look back on shit and like think about it like wow, I did so great. Like, I'm very competitive and I want to win, and I haven't really done that yet. Like, I mean, I've won like little things like the draft league, whatever, like the amateur league, whatever. My bar is so high just because I know like what I can do with the right people. So like for me, I'm not really proud of anything, if you want to know the honest truth.
I like that answer. You got to be hungry. You have to stay hungry, and clearly you have it. And clearly you're destined for greatness. And I can't wait to see it. We talked about orgs, and I want to know what's your thought process on, and what's your thoughts on some of these big orgs coming into Halo? Is it good? Is it bad? What are some of your thoughts about this?
I think it's a great thing that, you know, people are trusting us and like investing in our scene, you know, at such a financially high caliber. It gives me great hope for the future of Halo and like the direction we're headed. What do we say, 9 years? I mean, I haven't been playing the whole time, but like, I mean, we've obviously been on a decline. And even with Halo 5, like we saw an increase, but, you know, I think they learned from their mistakes in Halo 5. And I think Infinite has great potential as long as, you know, we truly have learned from our mistakes.
I'm really excited where Halo's at right now. Big orgs coming in. You know, even if you look at like the videos that HCS is putting out with some of these announcements, I mean, they must be paying big, because these are like movie trailers. Some of these like little clips and stuff. Like, I'm excited. They need to keep that same energy, no matter what. I have this theory that Halo Infinite is at least going to be masquerading as a AAA esport during the first 2 or 3 events. Even if it doesn't stay like that long term, like the amount of eyes that are going to be on Halo Infinite for those first few events is insane. We already know that's a given. Where are we going to end up by that 4th event? Where are we going to end up by that 5th event? Are we going to fall? Are we going to stay steady? Are we going to rise? Where is Halo Infinite going to be? That and you can answer that. It's rhetorical as well. Like, if you want to put your thoughts in there, but those are my questions, and I think it's important.
Yeah, I think what you said sums it up perfectly. You know, my head is in the same spot. I mean, I really think we're headed on, you know, an increase and, you know, like a positive trend. But it truly just determines, like, you know, how they do on launch, like how fast they fix errors, like, you know, just basic things everybody's been saying, and like how fun the core gameplay is.
We got to know, we got to dig into the mind just a little bit. We got to dig into it just a little bit of mine of Swish, but I want to go deeper, and I want to go different. We know a little bit about you out of the game. Now I want to know what goes through your process in the game. We're going to go on a short break, guys, real short break. We're gonna set up and we're gonna do some film review, and I'm gonna really drill into this into this man's head. If you guys want to improve your gameplay, you're gonna want to see this. We're gonna go to some film review on an insane game that he had just recently too. We didn't just dig some crazy game 5 years ago where he dropped 20 or so kills in a Slayer. Like, no, this is one of his most recent games. Don't touch that dial. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to switch things up a little bit. So like I said, we got the interview down. We got to know a little bit about Kyle as a person, some of his experiences with competing, found out where he started, and hopefully where he's going to finish. Because again, expectations are winning, and I'm going to hold you to that, Kyle. Now, we're gonna dig into the actual playing portion of this. We're going to do some film review of a film that he had. This is going to be Slayer on Rig. And you know what? Without further ado, why don't we just jump right into it? Right off the bat, playing for Camo, obviously. Someone shoots it down. Off the screen, we have Flipster, who ends up getting a kill and sniped.
Somebody give me a shotway analysis on that.
I don't know if you had the like just the macro play to know that your teammates are all gonna die, but like you just have like a total different angle now. We have 3 players on inside. 2 are currently down. I don't even know where your third.
Yeah, I mean, I just see people dying, so I'm gonna walk, see where we spawn, so I can tell where they're at, type of thing, and then try to make a play.
Makes sense. I like the awareness though, to wrap around. A little bit of trigger discipline, but you eventually got him. Clean kill.
So I heard that guy behind me initially when I jumped up. So I'm looking for him, obviously. And then once I clear him, I'm looking around, but I'm still this entire time I'm aware of the guy behind me.
Is Aptopass. I know him. Easy 5.
Yeah, so I'm baiting that sniper still because I know, like, I killed the sniper right there. So, like, off their spawn, like, we're kind of trapping them there. So I know somebody's going to go back for it.
Players still spawning over towards bunker. Collapse is coming in on engine 2. If we slate him out, we'll probably be blocking. So most likely someone's going to spawn over towards Carbine, I would imagine. But I mean, I could be wrong about this. So I want to see this. Hold on one sec. I need to see this again. I need to see that one more time. That was the sniper you said you were baiting. I remember that.
So obviously in H5, when you throw a nade, you don't show up. So that's the reason I bank the nade and I get the easy headshot, because that's just a free kill without exposing myself.
If you guys want to learn how to play camouflage, throwing a nade doesn't reveal your position. Get used to it. That's a big brain play and a beautiful triple kill. And mind you, I mean, that gives you guys a 1-point lead right there. You're coming off spawn, but Flipster dies, so now it's in a 3v4. You're in a 3v4 right now. You have a teammate towards engine 2. You have somebody on bottom tower. In your mind, what do you think that you need to accomplish here?
I mean, obviously I see the guy white corner, like White Hall's a power position, so I'm trying to get him weak for the guy E2. And then I see that guy at rail, so he's holding that side. Like, I know he doesn't have top rail or whatever, but he should have the awareness to be able to kill a guy jumping up rail. I mean, my goal is to just do some damage off my spawn and help my team.
This guy goes right to engine 3. God bless. Now we have 4 players. A big kill. Playing your life. Here comes that same nade. God, you like that nade.
Yeah, bounce nades are really useful for sealing people. / like just catching people off guard.
I'm not sure what Alex was thinking about that. We're going to talk to him after this. You're rent free right now. Like you've just been holding down tower this entire time. No rent paid right now.
Yeah,
I'm loving
it. TS, you want to obviously do this a lot because I mean, from tower you can see a lot of different angles. You can stay alive. That was a really good nade by him. I probably shouldn't have trailed, but. So, I mean, off my spawn, I see my teammates to the right. So what I want to do is I want to fill the next available lane. So I'm either going to go through long haul, or I'm going to wrap yellow corner. Usually I'll take the 3rd angle. I won't take the furthest angle because I'll expect the 4th guy to do that. So I'm trying to just fill in the gaps as quickly as possible in the map. Plus camo's coming up.
And your teammate is literally right behind you, but Banshee goes down. Obviously, you're winning that piv. Nades are coming in, though. Easily playing your life. Shields come out, and there's going to be a scatter shot for you. Uh-oh. I'm afraid. Just want to see what the teammates are. Okay, so I just noticing your positioning. You mentioned filling in the gaps, and I feel like no matter where you're at, I feel like you're always filling in the gaps like that. Like, and that's just kind of, that seems like your gameplay throughout this entire game. Is that important to you? Is that what you're thinking of most of the time when you're spawning up?
Yeah, so every time I spawn, I'm looking where my teammates are at, and I'm trying to fill the next available lane so that we don't get flanked and that we have map control.
Jeez, freaking.
And then I see nobody there tower, right? So I'm going to go back, I'm going to check that, see if they push through yellow, and obviously they didn't, so I'm going to go back to where I was holding.
I love it. It's an overkill, but it's just so clean because like that's just all position. That's just all being in the right place at the right time, having the awareness, and just playing good fundamentals. To me that's almost better than like a crazy no scope overkill.
Yeah, I'm not usually the flashiest person. I try to be the most efficient that I can be. I'm not usually the most flashy though.
We have flip over towards white corner. Treble coming out of Carbine. I'm guessing you're gonna spawn Carbine here with them. That's my guess. But let's see what happens here. Flip ends up dying. I hate the idea of dying one at a time, but luckily Banshee ends up winning. And then here we go, filling in this lane,
Yep,
trying to
so
get
I
this
see
tower
them.
control.
Yep, trying to beat this guy, have timing on him. Fortunately, he's making an Apex play where you like third party someone and don't actually fight them. But yeah, you just want to always be filling in, you know, the map, trying to get to the sides so that you can hold the middle.
You just lost your perimeter player right there. Does that bother you at all that you lost that perimeter player? I see Treble just kind of flew in front of you.
The guy on my right.
It was Flip. He was almost like he was holding this engine side for you. And
yeah, once I lose him, I know I have to look there because usually whenever you see an X, that's where the enemy's coming from.
now, if he's still alive and he's over an engine, are you playing this Whitehall or like, well, what if he stays alive and he's holding that perimeter side? Is your thought process filling in Whitehall? What's the thought process there?
My thought process is helping my teammate white corner because I can still save him / like get those kills if Flip is E2 or whatnot. But right here, I have to play this a little bit slower since he dies. And then once I kill that guy, I know I can, you know, collapse on these guys.
I know camouflage is coming up real soon here. God bless. Good shots.
Yeah, so right there, I mean, I don't even need to die right there. I can just hold white corner and not die. Honestly, like, I'm just kind of dominating, so I'm just full channeling a lot of these guys at that point. But the better play would just be to sit white corner and kind of peek shot them instead of just chow that hard.
And it's worth mentioning that this is a matchmaking game, so I mean that's not like
right.
You're not gonna be playing like it's a tournament. Banshee, I see him on the kill feed. Banshee doing his thing right now. Let's see. We're 1 down, they're 2 down, so okay. Same thing, kind of filling the gap. You had somebody over towards Long Hall, somebody over towards Whitehall. It looks like everybody kind of slows down a little bit here. I guess you're letting. I guess your teammates thought maybe they would want to let that enemy team spawn. I'm not sure you guys actually had numbers. I'm surprised they didn't play a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, we still have the inside of the map, so even if we don't have the direct numbers, we can always just look at our team. In theory, we can always just look at our team, you know, pretty quickly as long as the guys in the middle stay alive. So right here, I know this camo guy's around, so I'm gonna go back and bait like I did, just so he doesn't get a double, and we're gonna get the kill on him.
I think we might have just saw someone get ninja right there. I'm not even gonna rewind that.
I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened as well.
Big kill on Terry, and somebody happens to get tower 2. Oh, okay, almost.
Yeah, that was a good finish by him. If I would have had a little bit better of a thrust, I could have completely avoided that.
So we're spawning yellow corner. I feel like you guys just keep. There's always a position where somebody's over on one side, someone's on the other. Like I feel like you guys are playing really well together right now.
Yeah, these guys' spacing was actually pretty good. I noticed that as well. But yeah, we had all 3 spots, so I'm gonna take the 4th spot. Like I could have opted to go carbine, but we're kind of like pushing into the middle. So as long as I can keep doing damage in the middle and helping my team, then I'm actively being productive on the map.
Now we've seen you get the enemy team multiple 3 down, 4 down. Talk about like the flow of the game here. So let's say we get them in another 3 down scenario. In a perfect world, are you gonna allow them to spawn up and then collapse you and your team, or are you going to try to play it where maybe you can beat 2 players before they spawn and force them a split spawn, have 2 players spawn like over towards bunker, collapse, and force them to spawn now? Is that what you're doing in a perfect world, or are you allowing them to spawn up and then collapsing on them?
Honestly, in a perfect world, like when they spawn, like we're blocking car and they just spawn bunker, they don't really have a whole lot of options. You know, if they go tower side, they're usually fried. The only place they can really go is E1 and leak out. So I mean, it's okay to have them all there, but if you start forcing splits and you're not used, like you guys aren't used to splits, because when you play splits, you have to play really fast on the splits, collapse and get the kills. Like otherwise, splitting is a bad thing because then people get behind you. You know, there's holes in your setup, that sort of thing. So I would say, you know, most of the time I want a team all spawning on the same side, especially if it's a weak side.
I like that. And you guys are just controlling this almost this whole game. At no point in time did you guys ever on your back foot here. Big shots. I'm surprised Trouble didn't clean that up. Trouble's actually also from New Jersey. I'm sorry, he's not in New Jersey anymore, but he was a local. Big shots with a free camo. And at this point, it looks like it's only a matter of time before you get away. Strong siding away. I like it. Your teammate ends up going down. So it's a little bit of a 3v4 here, but it looks like your teammates are still shooting, still putting out damage, and then somehow you're getting right behind them. No clue. Oh, Alex almost spotted you, but ends up getting back smacked.
Yeah, I run over to try to keep my teammate alive, but unfortunately I couldn't keep him up. I was really hoping this guy would challenge for the triple to end the game. That would have been nice, but...
And then the scatter shots, and that was important. That's the 51st kill.
Oh, 100%. You always want the death screen kill. Like, that's the most important piv in the game. Win or lose, that's the win.
With that film review, what I'm noticing is, number one, filling in the gaps, staying alive, but also being efficient and playing position towards where your teammates are so that you can ultimately help your teammates. And it's either team shot them, win a piv, which obviously you did that multiple times. But I think what I get from that is awareness, positioning, and filling in the gaps. That's from what I've noticed from that gameplay.
I would say, I mean, obviously grinding the game will get your shot better. Like, I wouldn't really over focus your shot in octagons and things like that. I would just like focus on the gap, like focus on where your teammates are at, and then see where you can make an impact in the map.
Hopefully I can get an editor to put that in, get that in like in big bold letters and whatnot. Get that in quotes around Kyle Swish. So
do something on the map.
do something on the map. That's the quote right there. That's the thumbnail. We're gonna do something on the map. So we got the interview. We did a little bit of film review. We got to know a little bit about Kyle behind the screen. But also, I want to know a little bit about where we could find you. Give me some of your socials out there. What are you up to, Kyle?
I mean, my Twitter is Swish_KA. My Twitch is Swish5s, no spaces.
Are you taking content creating serious? Are we going to see a content creation side of you come infinite time, like a daily schedule, full time? What's going on with the content creation?
I think potentially. I think it really depends if we land, something that I can take full time. So potentially, but more focus on the competition side of things. But if all of that goes as planned, then I'm thinking of taking up content creation as well, along with that.
As we said in the beginning of the show, Kyle doesn't like these kind of things. I had to call him a couple favors. Like I said, I had my people call his people and whatnot. It wasn't easy, but we got him here. We got to learn a little bit about him. We're going to be doing a lot of content like this going on in the future. Interviews, film reviews, and different things like that. Because as I said before, I love the Halo community. I truly do. But I don't think we've done the best to highlight some of these players. So make sure you guys are jumping on my list. Free agents, team of 2, team of 3s, team of 4s. Get out there, reach out, get a team, and maybe one day you'll be fragging with this guy right next to me. You guys have a good one.